San Jose, Sharks fans travel from many different places to watch the team take the ice on practice days in the South Bay. For Sunny Boparai, that meant a drive on Tuesday morning from Fairfield, with a stop in Livermore to pick up his nephew, Jay. "I took his older sister last year and she had a blast," Boparai said in a phone interview with NBC Sports California on Wednesday. "Jay was sick last year and couldn't go, and he's been asking me for about a year if he could go, after finding out at 6 a.m. Tuesday morning he had the day off of work." Boparai made arrangements to go pick up his nephew, who turns 5 years old in June, and make the rainy drive down to San Jose to watch Team Teal practice. There was only one problem: they didn't know until they got to Solar for America Ice that Sharks practice that morning had been cancelled. Boparai said he and Jay checked out Barracuda practice before he realized the NHL squad wasn't holding practice that day. After taking Jay, noticeably disappointed, to check out the pro shop, the duo took a final gander at the South Rink, where the Sharks usually practice. He then noticed head coach DeBoer was on the ice. In a final push to catch something close to a practice, Boparai took his nephew to meet the Sharks bench boss. "I was here and I ran into them outside," DeBoer recounted to NBC Sports California on Wednesday. "He had driven from quite a ways away for practice and we'd cancelled practice, so DeBoer did the next best thing. He gave Boparai and his nephew a personal tour of the Sharks dressing room at their practice facility. I felt bad for him and so we gave them the best alternative, which was a tour of the room," DeBoer said. "I was happy to." Huge shout out to San Jose Sharks coach DeBoer. "I took my nephew, Jay, down to San Jose for. Coach DeBoer was there and took us into the dressing room for a private tour. Thanks for your personal time, coach." Sunny_SF, March 6, 2019. After the tour, DeBoer took a photo with Jay near the stall of the young fans' favorite player, Sharks captain Joe Pavelski. Boparai was particularly struck with how down-to-earth DeBoer was, and loved how open he was to showing them around. "It wasn't more than 5 minutes, but it really turned my nephew's day around," Boparai said. He was already a fan for life, but now, related, Sharks still dealing with injuries to several key players. After getting a personal tour of the dressing room, how eager is Jay to get out to a full practice? "We were on the drive home and he was like, 'Can we come back tomorrow?'" Boparai said with a laugh. "I think now I need to take him to an actual game." San Jose, the Sharks resumed team practice after taking 2 days off, but they were missing a few bodies as the team deals with a mix of injury and illness. Brent Burns, Joe Pavelski and Erik Karlsson all were absent from morning skate Wednesday. Burns missed both practices ahead of Sunday's game against the Chicago Blackhawks because he had the flu. After that game, Sharks coach DeBoer said the flu bug was going around the dressing room. "Anyone who wasn't out there was dealing with that," DeBoer said after Wednesday's skate, before adding, "Other than Karlsson has been missing from practice since aggravating a groin injury February 26 against the Boston Bruins." DeBoer said Wednesday that Karlsson isn't quite ready to return yet, meaning the defenseman likely will miss the rest of the Sharks' current homestand. "Making progress, but he's not going to play this week," the coach said. "We'll look at next week, based on the progress he's made through the rest of this week." On a positive note, winger Evander Kane participated in Wednesday's practice after missing the last 2 contests with an undisclosed injury. Kane told the media that things are progressing, but he's not sure yet if he'll be ready to play in San Jose's next game. Related, he'd heating up offensively in Karlsson's absence. "He went out for a skate today," DeBoer said. "He wasn't 100%, but we'll see how he feels tomorrow." That was the first step. The Sharks continue their 4-game homestand Thursday as the Montreal Canadiens make their only trip of the season to San Jose. San Jose, there aren't too many players out there that can bounce back from having the flu and get on the scoresheet. Sharks defenseman Brent Burns is one of the few that can. He was laid up all day yesterday and today, and showed up and played I don't know how many minutes, Sharks bench boss Peter DeBoer said Sunday afternoon. 88 set up a third-period marker in Team Teal's 5-2 win over the Chicago Blackhawks. He's a hard guy to keep off the ice. We went in with the plan of limiting him a little bit, but that's hard to do. He wants to be out there. It was just another example of why Burns is at the forefront of the Norris Trophy conversation. Burns logged 20 minutes in Sunday's contests, second to only fellow defenseman Justin Braun. Halfway through the final period, he squared up and fired a laser shot straight at the net which Melker Karlsson tipped in for a goal. For a guy who was battling a flu bug, Burns played like it was just another night at the office, and kept his Ironman streak of 455 games going to boot. With a team leading 72 points, Burns also continues to outmatch other defensemen across the NHL with a 1.09 points per game clip. He's tallied at least 1 point in all but 8 games since the beginning of January, ranking 10th among all skaters in points since the start of the new year. Keep in mind, Burns has continued on this pace all carrying a heavy load for an injured blue line. With 4 of the Sharks' 6 regular defensemen being sidelined at different points since the start of the new year, Burns has had to eat up big minutes in half of the games this campaign. As fellow Norris Trophy winner Erik Karlsson continues to deal with a groin injury that keeps him out of the lineup, the rest of San Jose's blue line has been tasked with filling that void. Burns, who was logging nearly 30 minutes a game in January when Braun, Marc-Edouard Vlasic, and Radim Simek were all injured, and he's continued on a similar pace for nearly a 2-month span. Related, Burns garnering Norris Trophy buzz. Plus, the season isn't even done yet. The Sharks have 16 games to go in their regular season campaign and are playing 10 of those games on home ice, where Burns has tallied 29 points, 6 goals, 23 assists in a 31-game span. A whopping 13 of those games will be against the Western Conference, which Burns has registered 39 points, 7 goals, 32 assists against. With numbers like that, it doesn't look like anything can cool off no. 88's Norris Trophy campaign. As we learned last weekend, not even something like the flu can hold him back.